Hi, I've got a silly little project for today. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you are probably aware that I have a cat. She likes to be in the middle of things, so she will often show up in my videos. So my plan is to make a house for her, and I actually have one behind me here that I made a while ago, but I didn't do a very good job. We just happened to have a box and I cut some holes in it to make windows and a little door. But I wanted to make her something nicer. I've been saving up some cardboard and I have a really big IKEA box and a couple of smaller Amazon boxes. And I wanted to put together a little A-frame cabin for her. So that's what I'm going to be making today. So my cat's name is Stella, and she is almost 14 years old, though she definitely doesn't look it. People often mistake her for a kitten still because she's so small, and she's also still very playful, so she doesn't act like a 14-year-old cat either. But she'll often get the zoomies and run around the house, and lately in the middle of the night she's been yelling a lot. She has this little toy that she really loves, so she'll pick it up in her mouth and run around the house and yell about it for some reason. So I had the idea to make an A-frame cabin. I've always loved the way that A-frames look. And I think it should be a fairly simple style of structure to make as well. Since it's basically just a triangle, I am gonna make it a little more complicated though. I think I'm gonna try adding a chimney on one side and maybe a dormer on the other, just so that it isn't just like a triangle. Give it a little more interest. I've gone through Pinterest and I've pinned a few reference photos, so I'm gonna refer to those and do up a little sketch and then figure out what I need for pieces and figure out dimensions and how everything is gonna fit together. Okay, so for the main structure, I want something fairly simple. So obviously we're gonna start with a triangle. And I think I'm gonna put in a wall here, but I would like the roof to have a bit of an overhang, at least in the front. I might not do that in the back. So it's gonna need to have a door that's big enough for her to fit through. And she is pretty small, so it doesn't really need to be huge. But looking at some of my reference pictures, a lot of these have those big glass doors that kind of fully open up. I feel like I could make the front door pretty big and not have it look too weird. So I think I'll do something like that. And then because there's going to be an overhang, I was thinking I would do sort of a little faux balcony. Make it look like it's 2 stories. Maybe to like here. So something like that. Okay, so this space is going to be open. And then I would like to do kind of a second floor window. This one here just kind of has a triangular window in the top. So I might do something like that. And I like the style of this with a little piece jutting out to the side as well. So I might kind of use that as my main reference. Though I didn't leave enough room on my drawing here, so I'm gonna have to do this off of the other side. So if that's gonna be kind of main floor, I'll do it about this height. And then do a little roof on that as well. And then I could do a little chimney on this side. And then I don't know how far I want that window to go down. Just like here. But I'm wondering if I want to put in kind of a, I don't even know what you call these cross pieces in windows. Something like that. On the side, I'll do a window on kind of like the edge. And I might do one here as well. In terms of painting it, I still haven't totally figured that out yet, but I want to do, again, going from my reference picture, it's got like wooden slats. So I think I'm gonna try to do that kind of thing and then do some sort of shingle thing for the roofs. So this will just kind of have a wood slat texture. And then on the side as well. And then I think the chimney will probably be more of like a brick and then some sort of shingle thing for the roof. So that's what I got so far. In terms of dimensions, I'm going to kind of just use what I've got for the box because I'm kind of limited to the size of the biggest box as to how big I can make this. I don't want to tape pieces together because it's not going to be structurally sound if I do that. So I think for each side of the roof, actually the whole roof itself is just going to be one piece. It'll just be two sides of the box turned on its side. So I'm going to just let that dictate the final size of the structure. So to start out with, I've got this huge IKEA box. There's one side here that is kind of overlapped, so I'm not going to use that side. I'm going to try to just use two normal looking sides. So I need to just cut this off from the rest of the box and cut off the flaps and then flip it inside out to get the main structure, and that will determine how big this ends up being. So I'm just gonna cut this box open. Which is always easier said than done. Okay, one side done. This is a piece that has three sides. I'm gonna set that aside for now. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut off the flaps and then I'll clean up the edges a bit because it's a little bit of a mess. I unfortunately do not own a box cutter, which would make this process a whole lot easier. I'm definitely gonna have to vacuum after I'm done with this. This is messy. Okay, that's good enough for now. I am gonna have to reinforce this because the cardboard has actually already split here, and that's gonna be the top of my roof. That's approximately what it's gonna look like. So next up I'm gonna have to figure out an angle and then cut out pieces for the walls. So front and back walls. I'm thinking I'll probably have big enough pieces to do each of the walls in one piece because I still have a lot of this box left over. Let's see how wide this is. Okay, I might just make that the width of the box. Just keep things easy. The only thing is, as I mentioned earlier, the one side of this box has kind of a weird overlap thing, but if I make that the back wall, you're not really going to see it anyways, so that's fine. It just might be a little more difficult to cut through. Got carnage already. Barely started the project. This is going to be a messy one. So I'm going to line this up with the bottom here, ignoring the flap because I'm going to cut that off. So I'm going to try not to move this too much, and I'll maybe go over with a ruler after, but I'm just going to trace this line here. I'm just going to cut out this section, cut off this flap, and then this should fit perfectly for our end piece, and then I'll do the same thing on this side, and this will be the back end piece. After that's cut out, I will add details and then tape it on to the roof piece, and the main part of the structure will be done. Alright, we now have two triangles. So those are going to be the end pieces. I think for the back piece, I'm just going to cut out a rectangle so that there's a back door so she can go all the way through if she wants. And then the front, again, I'm going to do front door and then a window up above. And then after I've got these pieces attached to the roof piece, I'm gonna have the front wall set in a little bit so the roof sort of hangs over, and then I'll do a little faux balcony across as well. For the doors, I want it to be close to half, but not quite. So I just want to measure this and see how tall we're at. It's about 17.5 inches. I'll maybe do 7 inches high, and that should be plenty big enough for her to get in. I think I'll probably make it a little bit wider than it is tall, but I don't want to make it too wide because I want to keep enough cardboard on the side so that it doesn't lose structural integrity. 9 wide, 7 tall. I'm kind of rethinking this because that doesn't leave a whole lot of space on either side, so I think I'll bring it in. Maybe I should do it square and just do 7. So I've got a 7-inch by 7-inch door, and then I also want to do window at the top. But again, I don't want to have the edges be too thin because I'm also going to need to have enough room to tape it on to the roof part. I'm thinking I'll leave a couple of inches above the door, and then I'll maybe do a couple of inches this way as well. Alright, so that's the front piece all done. I decided to leave a little strip at the bottom just to give it some more structural integrity, but I still think that that opening should be more than wide enough for her to get through. So that piece is done. I will cut out an opening in the back piece as well, and then see if I can attach these pieces to the roof. And I think that might be all I end up doing today. I was hoping to get this project done over 2 days, but now I'm thinking it might be more like 3. But anyway, I will go ahead and get the main part of this put together, and then I'll be back tomorrow to finish off all of the cardboard cutting and taping together. And then I think I will probably need a 3rd day to do the painting. So I still have a lot to do on this, but already it's looking super cute. What do you think? New house or old house? The old one looks so sad. Yay! I'm so happy this is turning out. I just hope she actually uses it. Hello, I'm back. It's now day 2, and I realized last night that I'm probably not going to be able to finish this project this week. So my plan is to complete construction today, and then next week I will do all of the painting and final details, decorating, that kind of thing. So make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss part 2. So yesterday after I stopped filming, I actually added a little bit. I put in a little balcony and railing on the front. For today, my plan is to build a little extension off of the side. So that's going to require quite a bit of measuring because I have to line it up with the slope of the roof. And then I'm also adding a roof onto that, so I have to figure out pitch and everything. So we'll see how good my math skills are. And then on the other side, I'm going to add a chimney, which is basically just a box. I'll still have to figure out the angle, but once I already have the angle figured out for the other side, it should just be the same. So that shouldn't be as difficult. So I'm going to do a little bit of measuring, and then I will start cutting stuff out. So the idea is that this would fit against here. I think I got my angle right. That looks to be correct, or at least close enough. So that I've got a right angle here, and this lines up with the edge of the roof. So I'll just make another one of these, and then I'll try to figure out the roof. So I'm thinking I want to keep the roof of the extension at the same pitch as the main part of it, just for consistency. So if I'm doing that, I think I can figure out the shape of the front wall of this piece. I think I might make that piece first and then figure out the roof, because I know I want the width to be 12 and the height to be 8 on the sides. So if I draw out that, then I can just take the tops of the sides and angle it up 30 degrees. So I'm going to adjust my plan slightly and make this a little bit narrower, just because I would prefer it to be taller. I don't want to make it on a fold because that would lose structural integrity. So I'll make it as wide as I can, which is just under 10.5 inches. So I'm losing about 1.5 inches in width, but that's okay. All right, so I don't have to cut the bottom part at all. So saved me a few cuts at least. So I'm still gonna do 8 inches tall on the sides because I have to match the side pieces that I already made. And then I'll try this angle trick again and see if this works. Okay, there's the front piece, and this will attach like that. So now I need a roof piece. This isn't gonna want to stay. Oh no. Okay, so these go on like this, and then the roof is going to be here, but I'm going to have to angle it at the back at 30 degrees again to match the angle of the house. So I was thinking I would do a window in this piece as well. So I'll maybe draw that out first and get that cut out before I start assembling things, and then I'll cut out the roof pieces. So just to complicate things further, I'm wanting this side bit to be an actual usable room. So in addition to making the roof and attaching this to the side of the building, I'm also going to have to cut a hole in the side of the building to attach this to. I won't have that issue on the other side because with the chimney, it obviously doesn't need to be functional. So I can just tape that right onto the roof and I don't have to bother cutting a hole. But this one, because I did a window in it, I would love for her to be able to actually like go in and like look out the little side window. That would be really cute. So roof, cut a hole in the side of the building, attach side room, and then chimney. So Stella has decided to help me out here, which unfortunately is not much of a help. I guess she wanted to oversee construction. Yeah. It is her house after all, so I guess that makes sense. This part is pretty much done. I had a bit of an issue with the roof. I couldn't find a piece that was large enough. So I wanted to at least have a piece that had a fold in it for the top of the roof. So I just added little flaps on the sides. Stella, could you not knock my light over, please? So they're a little floppy right now. I am still... You're silly. I'm gonna get some masking tape just to fix things on, so I'll tape over this part later on. I'm gonna use masking tape because it's paintable rather than the packing tape that I'm using on the inside, because the paint wouldn't stick to that. That will be something to worry about later. So right now I'm going to attach the roof to this part and then cut a hole in the main part of the building. Stella, can you not scratch things that you're not supposed to? Please and thank you. Okay, so I had to remove the roof piece from this because my angles weren't quite right. So I've made some adjustments. There's a bit of trial and error, but I think I can get this to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the walls to the main part, and then I'll add the roof on after. So I'll just tape this on like that, and then I'll do the roof, and I'll have to cut out a triangle to fit the roof in. So there's my little side room. Now the roof is going to go on like this. I'm still not sure of my angles, but I'm going to say it's close enough. Okay. I don't know how even that actually is, but oh well. Close enough. I think it should be good. So I'm just going to flip this upside down again and attach the roof. Maybe this way. Okay. Well, it's far from perfect, but it's still looking pretty damn cute, so I'm happy with it. It's kind of just like building a huge gingerbread house. Okay, so we have our side room. That's what it's looking like from the front. So last thing I want to build is just a chimney coming down the side here. So that should be fairly easy to construct. I'm going to try to get that done today, and then I'm going to set this project aside for a little bit because this is taking a lot of time. Okay, I'm almost done for the day. I have all of the pieces cut out for the chimney. So I've got slightly wider pieces for the front and back, and then I have narrower pieces for the sides, which I have angled, and hopefully they will match the angle of the roof. So I'm just going to tape this together, tape it to the house, and then I'm going to be done for the day. I am getting too old to sit on the floor hunched over all day. I will get that finished, and then the construction of the house will be done, and then I'm gonna rest for a few days, and then I will tackle the painting and decorating. So I think probably the easiest way to attach this to the house is to do it at this point and then put on the outer one, just so that I have kind of an edge that I can attach to the roof, seeing as I'm not going to cut a hole on this side. I'm probably going to go over all of these seams with masking tape on the outside as well. I just want to get everything kind of in place so it's not moving around too much. And now this might be tricky because I have to run tape down the whole length of these. Okay, again I might have to go with masking tape, but chimney is on. I'm hoping it's relatively square. It looks not too bad. I think we might be good. I'm not super happy with the angle of this roof. It's kind of tilted slightly and it's like maybe 2 or 3 degrees, so it's not a big deal, but I don't know. I'll see how much that bugs me. I might take the roof off and sort of shave it down a little bit, just to try to adjust the angle to level it out. But there we have it for now. Major construction is finished. So I'm calling this done for now. I'm gonna take a few days and let my back recover. I have some pretty fun plans for how I want to paint and decorate this. So do stay tuned for part 2 and make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss the final reveal. But I'll wrap things up for this week. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed this project, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye!